What's up, guys? In the works, and yes, we're playing some Black Ops 2 PC, and we're using the Skorpion Evo. And a lot of you guys have been asking me, where's the Black Ops 2 stuff? I thought you were still playing this game. Well, I am. Never fear, I am still playing Black Ops 2 on my PC. Haven't really touched my Xbox account, unfortunately, because I just, feel like playing PC. I'm a PC guy, and that's a pretty crappy way to start the game off, getting a Claymore death by a guy camping in the corner. But that's to be expected in Call of Duty. It seems to be a norm these days. But the player counts on Black Ops PC are pretty low, and that's one of the reasons why I have a difficult time getting content from Black Ops, just because it seems like if I don't have time to play in the mid-afternoon, there's never anyone online. But luckily today I was able to sit down, and it seems like and that's a pretty unfortunate death as well, so we're not off to a very good start. But it seems like the times between like noon and 5 my time seems to be the most populous times on Black Ops 2. I don't know why that is. I would think that in the evening there would be more people online, but it does not seem to be the case. So maybe some Europeans are inflating the numbers, I don't know. But I seem to be able to find better lobbies in the afternoon. That being said, I was working on a video that I've been putting together, which you should expect sometime, maybe towards the end of the week, maybe sometime early next week. I was looking at some of the time to kills on rifles, and the particular weapon I'm using right here, the Skorpion Evo, is arguably one of the best SMGs in the game if you're looking at one person. Now, if you start to think about 2 or 3 people coming around the corner, you start to look at a pretty big disadvantage, because this thing shoots almost 1,300 rounds per minute. I think it shoots 1,250 rounds per minute, which is blazing fast. I mean, that is just astronomically fast. Like, I can't even comprehend it. When I found out the stats on this thing, I was like, wow, really? They would really be so dumb to put a high fire rate weapon that shoots that quick in the game? Considering that the recoil on this thing is not really that high, so it's really easy to take people out, especially with hip fire. But it got me to thinking about some of the time to kills on weapons, and how it seems like with every first-person shooter, the weapon that people tend to gravitate towards is the weapon with the highest time to kill. And that's logical. If you think about it, you want the weapon that kills people the fastest. But I often think about, is time to kill kind of overrated? Because if you look at some of the maps on Black Ops 2, they're super small, which means the Skorpion Evo is going to excel in them. But one of the things about the Skorpion Evo is it doesn't do a very good job of taking out multiple people. You may get that second person, but there's no way you get that third and fourth person coming around the corner. And it's a pretty common problem for me in Black Ops 2. It seems like the maps are so small, you often spawn not too far away from where you died, in which you have to take that person on again. So it's a constant stream of people running towards your position, and I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people use the suppressor. Just because it saves you from a lot of scenarios where you're like, okay, I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to get away from this, because they know exactly where I'm at. They can continue to spawn and rush in there after me. But if you look at like the Skorpion Evo, shoots 1,250 rounds per minute. Let's take a look at like the MSMC, and I'm actually about to pick one of those up. MSMC does 7 points more of damage, however it shoots 750 rounds per minute versus the Skorpion Evo, which shoots 1,250 rounds per minute. So you see the big difference there? That's a huge disadvantage if you're using the MSMC in a really super close quarters fight against the Skorpion Evo. And that's where I tend to see a lot of people kind of lose themselves. I think I would prefer a weapon that's better in all categories versus a weapon that's good in one scenario. I mean, if you look at past Call of Duties, let's take Black Ops 1 for example. You had the FAMAS. The FAMAS was arguably the most overpowered weapon in the game. Now, if you look at it before they actually patched it, it was the fastest time to kill, I'm pretty sure. It shot at the speed of light. There was nothing that came close to it, and it was an assault rifle, so it didn't have a lot of drop off, and everybody used the FAMAS. If you wanted to be successful in the game, you used the FAMAS. And that's where I start to get kind of upset, because I don't like the developers put these fast time to kill weapons in the game so that there's really no advantage to using anything but that rifle. And I think Black Ops 2 did a pretty decent job of balancing out a lot of the time to kills, because if you look at the MSMC and you look at the fire rate and then you compare it to the Skorpion Evo, you're like, okay, well, the Skorpion Evo obviously has the fastest time to kill, right? Well, if you answered yes to that, you're partly right and you're partly wrong. Yes, up close, the Skorpion Evo is pretty much going to be untouched. 1,250 rounds per minute is hard to really compete with that. None of the assault rifles are going to touch it. Very few of the SMGs can even come close to it. So up close, Skorpion Evo is the time to kill master. But you start to look at like the MSMC outside of the close range, and you're like, okay, well, this really holds its damage a lot longer. So I get to keep that 750 rounds per minute and that 33 damage a lot longer with the MSMC, because it starts off as a 40 and then drops off to a 33. So that's when you start to see the true weaknesses of a weapon. And that's why I never really put much stock into time to kill, because honestly, there's too many variables, there's too many situations where time to kill does not really paint the perfect weapon out for you. You know, it doesn't show you which weapon is truly the best in the game. So honestly, if I was going to pick a best SMG, I would go with maybe the PDW-57 or the MSMC. Even though it only shoots 750 rounds per minute, they do more damage, they hold their damage longer, they have higher magazines, they're more controllable in my eyes, so effectively you can get more bullets on target. Whereas with the Skorpion Evo, outside of close range, you're bouncing all over the place, you're missing a lot of shots. So another disadvantage is, like I said earlier, Black Ops 2 is a game where you run into a lot of people. It seems like you're constantly running into swarms and swarms of the enemy team, just spawning over and over and over, even in 6v6. And it's the map design that really makes it like that. So, you know, inherently you would look at these maps and be like, well, I want the weapon that's going to kill the fastest. But really, truly, you want the weapon that kills fast and at the same time allows you to kill multiple people. And I think that's something to really consider, because if you think about it, what would you guys say would be the best assault rifle in the game? Now, I've already made a video on this. I really like the M8A1. I find it is a nice combo of rate of fire, controllability, and a good magazine size. But if you were to sit down and look at the stats, the Type 25 is statistically one of the fastest time to kill assault rifles in the game, because it shoots 940 rounds per minute and does 33 damage, holds its damage for a pretty long time for the most part because it is an assault rifle. So in most scenarios, you're looking at a pretty powerful assault rifle that shoots super blazing fast. But how many people actually use that rifle? Not many. Now, granted, a lot of people are going to be like, well, technically the SMR and the FAL on select fire are the fastest time to kills. That may be true, but as far as a default automatic weapon, nothing really comes close to the fire rate of the Type 25. So you see a lot of people talk about it being the best, but you don't see anybody using it. So that's where I tend to think that, you know, rate of fire, time to kill is really overrated in a lot of games, and I think I see too many people try to focus on that when selecting a weapon versus how it handles, you know, the magazine, the reload, stuff like that. And I think that's really what makes a true weapon the best. So sit down, think about what I said, and let me know what you guys think is your favorite weapon in the game, because I'm actually kind of curious. And if you missed any of my other videos, here they are above you to check them out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.